guys, welcome back to Purple Daffodils. Today we are going to see a poem, Telephone Conversation, written by Wole Soyinka. About the poet Wole Soyinka, born in 1934, Nigerian poet and a playwright. He was educated at the Government College in Nigeria and later at Leeds University, England, where he took a degree in English. He taught in the London schools and also worked in the Royal Court Theatre. He returned to Nigeria when he was about 25. He has been one of the leading figure in Nigerian theatre, writing number of successful plays and also leading a theatrical company. And he is the first African to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1986. His writings are known for their humor and about the poem. In Wole Soyinka's poem, Telephone Conversation, a Nigerian man calls a British landlady about renting an apartment. The conversation takes a discriminatory turn when she asks about his skin color. The speaker sarcastically describes his complexion in exaggerated terms, exposing the absurdity of racial prejudice while maintaining his dignity and intelligence. Now we are going to look into the poetry lines. The price seemed reasonable, location indifferent. The landlady swore she lived off premises. Nothing remained but self confession. Madam, I hate a wasted journey. I am African. Silence. Silenced transmission of preserved good breeding. Voice. When it came, lipstick coated, long gold rolled, cigarette holder piped, caught I was folly. How dark? I had not misheard. Are you a light or very dark? Button A, button B, snatch of rancid breath of public hide and seek. Red booth, red pillar box, red double tired omnibus, screeching tar. It was real. Shamed by ill mannered silence, surrendered, push, dumbfounded to beg simplification. So, in this 16 line, Wole Soyinka says the context of the poem. See, there is a Nigerian, a black African who wanted to rent an apartment. So he made a call to the landlady, and it seems the price is reasonable, the location is okay for him, and the landlady is not around or near the apartment. So it was good, okay for him. But then something that reminded him he should be very straightforward and genuine in his own way of thinking. So what he did is he right away told her that he is an African. Since he is an African, he wanted the answer immediately, and he don't want a, wasted journey to the particular location. After being learned he is an African, she might reject him after a long journey. So he informs her beforehand. He hates wasted journey, and he says, I am an African. Are you okay with it? But then the answer, he did not receive the answer immediately. There remained silence. Nothing came for few minutes. After that, the landlady spoke, and the black man, he imagines himself that she might be a white lady and her lips or lipstick coated. She might be having a long gold rolled cigarette holder piped, and then with that mouth she asks how dark. And again this black man, he thinks he misheard something, so he again waits, and then again he heard, are you light or very dark? Now he is thinking, even at this time she is asking about his skin color. He thinks whether he is the one who is hallucinating. So what he did is he looked around him. He could see the button A and button B in his telephone, and then he looked around him. He is standing in a red color booth, telephone booth, and there is a red pillar box, and there is a red double tired omnibus which is moving in the tar. And then He came to realize if all this scene around him is real, then obviously what the landlady asked, whether he's light or dark, is also real. And he also thinks he's been quiet for some time, so it is not a good manner. So he wanted to say something. So symbolically, here Wole Soyinka, what he means is by mentioning red booth, red pillar box, and the red omnibus moving in the tar means the white people are suppressing the black people. That is what he symbolically means by that. Moving on to the next line, considerate she was, varying the emphasis, or you dark or very light. Revelation came. You mean like plain or milk chocolate? Her accent was cynical and crushing in its light impersonality. Rapidly, wavelength adjuster, I choose African sepia. And as afterthought, down in my passport. Silence for the spectroscopic flight of fancy, till truthfulness clanged her accent hard on the mouthpiece. What is that? Consenting? Don't know what that is. Like brunette? That's dark, isn't it? Not altogether. So the line 17 to 27, Ole Soyinka says, since the person who's talking to the lady, he confirms that all around him is red in color. So obviously the lady has asked whether he's light or dark. And then again the lady, she considers something about a situation and she rephrases what she said, and again she asked, are you dark or very light? Now the black man, he understood that she is mentioning and asking about his skin color. So he says, do you mean plain or milk chocolate? Just to make this lady think he's quite attractive. But then her accent is again not that much of impersonality. So this black man, he says West African sapia. That is what mentioned in my passport. But the landlady, the white British lady, she says, what is that? I don't know what is that. You mean like a brunette? If it is brunette, then it is dark. Am I right? That is what the landlady asks. The line 28 to 35. Facially, I am brunette, but madam, you should see the rest of me. The palm of my hand, the sole of my feet were a pre oxidized blonde. Friction caused foolishly, madam, by sitting down, has turned my bottom raven black. One moment, madam, sensing her receiver rearing on the thunderclamp about my ears, madam, I plead. Wouldn't you rather see for yourself? So now in the line 28 to 35, Wole Soyinka brings out the humorous element in the poem, where this black man, he understood the landlady is mentioning about the skin color of the person, and she is very determined to knowing about the skin color, and it is obvious that she is not okay with black people being her tenant. So now, after understanding all these things, the man, he gives a sarcastic reply to her, saying that yes, ma'am, I'm facially a brunette, which means I'm dark, but then the rest of me, like the palm of my hand, the soles of my feet, or a mixture of white in color and blonde in color. But you know, madam, friction and because of sitting for long time, my bottom, my buttocks has turned into raven black, madam. And he can sense that she is, the landlady is very agitated. On the opposite side, she is about to put the receiver down, but before she could put the down, he says, madam, if you think that I'm dark or I'm lying, you can come see for yourself. That is what he says before the line goes off. And we are moving on to the summary part. Telephonic conversation by Wole Soyinka is a sarcastical poem that highlights the problems of racial discrimination in society. The poem presents a telephone conversation between an American man and a white British landlady who has a room available for rent. The speaker finds the rent reasonable and the location acceptable. Since the landlady does not live on the premises, everything seems suitable. However, before making an arrangement, he informs her that he is an African because he does not want to make a wasted journey if she has racial prejudice. After hearing this, the landlady remains silent for a moment, revealing her discomfort and hidden prejudice. The landlady continues her inquiry and asking whether he is dark or very light. She seems obsessed with classifying him according to skin tone. To expose the absurdity of her prejudice, the speaker responds humorously. He asks whether she means shades like plain or milk chocolate. The landlady agrees, treating the matter as if it were a scientific classification. He describes himself as West African. To expose the absurdity of her obsession to the color, the speaker jokingly explains that his face is brunette, while the palm of his hand and the soles of his feet are much lighter. He humorously adds the constant friction from sitting has made his bottom raven black. Though these witty remarks, he mocks the landlady's narrow minded attitude and ridiculous nature of racial classification. As the conversation progresses, the landlady becomes increasingly impatient, and the speaker senses that she is ready to end the call. Before she hangs up, he sarcastically suggests that she could meet him in person and judge for herself. And the poem ends on this ironic note, emphasizing the irrationality of racism. As the call ends, the speaker sarcastically asks the landlady to see him in person. The poem ends by highlighting the foolishness of racism. Thank you for patiently listening. Kindly do like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.